Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Sporting160EN podcast. Podcast number 83. I named it back-to-back dubs. I don't know if you guys seen that or not. Because we just got back-to-back dubs. I'm still hyped. But let's go straight to the cohorts as always. Starting off with my main man, Christian. How are you doing, bro?
I am honestly still a little shocked, to be honest. Feeling good. Sole possession of second place. Game was a little bit in doubt there, but turned it on when it mattered. Some really good changes, and yeah, excited to talk about it.
Exactly. And of course, last but not least, my other main man, Steph. Steph, how you doing, bro?
I'm feeling pretty good. We're in second place, just 2 points away from Benfica. We already played one of the big teams, the Futebol Porto. That's why we lost the 2 points. We should have won that game if they didn't rob us of the penalty. Yeah. But besides that, I'm feeling pretty good. And today was a great win. Tough win against a super defensive team. Like we say in the Portuguese slang, estacionaram o autocarro à frente da área.
Yeah, facts. They really did. We'll get into that in a second. Let's just go straight into the Twitter questions first, starting off with our guy, Joel Da Silva, who was in the chat earlier, Joel Leon _073. He asks, am I the only one that feels that the 3-4-3 just doesn't suit our current squad? We don't have good enough CBs to fill fill three positions. And for the only two positions in the midfield, we have too many players. 4-1-2-3 would suit us much better, I think. Ruben Amorim is just being stubborn, in my opinion. He then shows like a picture of a lineup. He has Adan in net, Nuno Mendes, Fidal, Coates, and Boro in the back line with Palhinha, João Mário, and Pot in the midfield. And then Nuno Santos, Sporar, and Jovan on the wings. He also has a second picture. Let me just quickly see. Oh, that's basically the lineup we have now. So, yeah, what do you? I think he has a decent argument there. What do you think, Steph?
Is there any way you can put that on the screen? I honestly.
Yeah, let me try. I'll try to throw it on here.
I literally have thought the exact same thing. Like, I like the system, but we don't have the personnel right now. Like, truthfully, like in the first half, Jovan was dropping so deep to get the ball.
Yeah, and I mean, not for nothing. That's what I play with when I'm playing FIFA with Sporting.
False nine.
Okay, let me. Well, yeah, or I'll just have like a 4-3-3 sort of thing. Nine. Yeah. Let's see. Share. All right. Do you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
I do.
So this is what he has, basically. He has Jovan, he has Sporar, Nuno Santos. I like that little switch that you can do. You know, you could play Jovan at the false nine, saying that Ruben Amorim doesn't like a striker. There. Yeah. Even João Mário at right wing, I think it's a good shout because I was just thinking this today. It's like, where is João Mário going to fit if we do only play two midfielders? Or
we have spot.
All right. Well, the Palhinha Daniel Bragança is got to be Palhinha.
Yeah. It's Palhinha for sure. Yeah. I mean, he was an anchor today. It wasn't even his best game, but he's just solid, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Daniel Bragança can't play that deep anyways. I think he's more of an attacking player.
Yeah.
Because when he came on, he changed a lot today.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Dude, we're more suited to have three midfielders, you know?
Yeah, exactly. With the amount of midfielders we have, we definitely
I know. It's like the one position.
This is another decent shout from Joel. I guess the only he has Pot sort of on the right wing, or I guess that's what we played today. Never mind. Yeah, that's what we played today. Anyways, let me go into the next question. Coming in from Miguel Murata. Not really Sporting related, but wondering, considering the shit show that is current LEMP election, what's your take on voting? Saudades Leoninas, my dude, and good show. Saudades Leoninas, my boy. What do you guys think?
I mean, we've talked about this before. Obviously, we support it. We support it in principle. I think that I speak for all of us. We support it in principle. I mean, saying the current president has also voiced support for this in the past, but then really has never showed a plan. Really, never really was it like his buddy's software company they were going to use? Like, if we're gonna half-ass it like that, then I mean, obviously I don't support it. But like, if we're gonna do it correctly, and set up a pin, have the right security, I think that this is something that should be supported by most sporting fans to, increase the voting, not only just at the presidential AGs, but the AGs like on all the other stuff. Because I mean, I'd love to have a say in stuff like that, but right now it's only the presidential elections, and it's mail a ballot overseas and hope for the best. So not really that great of a system. And speaking of voting, man, close eye on the Benfica elections tonight. Such a big turnout that we're probably not even going to know the winner tonight, it feels like, unless it's going to be very late. But
yeah, for sure.
Off topic,
I think so too.
But yeah.
Steph, any thoughts on that too? I know you're very vocal on that too, on iVoting.
I'm in favor of the iVoting if everything is up to speed and everything is legit. If there's no cheating, of course, I'm all for that. My good friend Alfred Fumaças, he's a big Benfica fan. He kind of explained it to me. He had to call Portugal. He was waiting for like 22 minutes, and they gave him a PIN number, and then he was able to vote from the US. So it seems like Benfica found a way to safely do it, and that's good, because for me and you and Chris, whoever pays cotas overseas, I would like to vote because I'm paying cotas. So why shouldn't I vote? I'm not going to go all the way down to Lisbon. It's not fair that only Lisboetas get to vote. When you, me, Chris, Nando, Sam, Patrick, we bleed Sporting, we love Sporting, we suffer as much as Sportingistas, and we pay our cotas and we buy the merchandise. So why shouldn't we be able to vote? That's the one thing. Well, actually, we'll talk about it, but that's the few things I agree with Varandas, because he's been okay the last 15 days defending Sporting, which I like it. And we'll talk about that. But yeah, I think that's good for the Benfiquistas, like the Canadians Benfiquistas and the American Benfiquistas and French and whatever overseas, that they're able to vote via iVoting.
Yeah, for sure. Next question comes in from Alkshit Youth, at Alkshit Youth, our boy all the way from Germany. He asks, who should be our starting goalkeeper, Maxi or Adan? Do you guys agree that Pot is the best signing from Varandas so far? Steph, do you think Pot's the best signing so far?
He's one of the best signings, and so far so good. I mean, he has scored, if I'm not mistaken, 3 goals. Am I correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
3 goals, yeah. With the goal today. He's one of the best signings. I like Nuno Santos. I like also the Bragança coming back. It was not, a signing, but he came back. I like Porro. I like Fedal. He brings consistency. He's not as good as Mathieu. We all agree on that. But Mathieu was hurt a lot of times. So yeah, so far so good. I like it. I like Sporar. Sporar is he doesn't fit in the system that Ruben Amorim likes it. But when we need him, like games like today, he shows up. Granted, the last game against Santa Clara, he should have scored twice on the easy crosses, and he didn't. But today he did when we needed him the most. So Sporati is one of those players that when we need him for crosses inside the box, he's gonna be productive. And today he was productive.
Yeah, agreed. And on Christian, Maxi or Adan, you can make the case for either or, really, I think.
Honestly, Adan hasn't really been peppered. Like the only games that he's really been peppered were the one game where I don't think Maxi would have made a difference, which was the last game. And there was one other game. I think it was the Portimonense game where he actually had a very nice showing. But, I mean, other than that, Santa Clara, Porto, this game, I mean, has he really been asked to do that much? Like, I truthfully don't think he has. I think that in the Portimonense game, which was the last game that he really had to make a lot of saves, he was pretty good. And he has shown that he's pretty good. So I think that he's done nothing to justify losing the spot. I also haven't seen Max play in, like, 3 months, so I don't know if he's like rusty or whatever, but I think that there's the way things are right now, there's no reason to switch it up, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. It's a done spot to lose as of right now for sure.
I mean, it's honestly all because Max got unlucky and got COVID and just kind of the battle just ended. That just ended the battle for the starting job, and then he was never able to get it after that. Because Adan hasn't done anything to lose it. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, I guess, but nothing to fear, I would say.
Yeah. We're definitely in safe hands, so far at least. Last question from Akshit Youth. If you can get a signed shirt from one of the current Sporting players, youth and senior, and or senior, I guess, which one would you take? I'm saying João Mario. What about you guys? I just love João Mario.
Go ahead.
What do you think, Steph?
I'm going to say Bragança.
Ooh.
I'm going to take Joelson. I'm going to make a long-term investment.
Sell it when we sell him to Real Madrid. I like
for
it.
127 million.
And then last, I guess, comment here is from Mundo de Leão at Mundo de Leão. He asks, is Varandas shit? And our boy Joel with the comment right after, Varandas is shit. Just had the verbiage in the wrong way. Anyway, shout out to everybody for the Twitter questions. We really do appreciate it. All right, let's get right into today's game. Sporting at home beat Gil Vicente 3-1. Our starting 11 was as followed. We had Adan in net, Luis Neto, Sebastian Coates, and Fidel in the back line with Boru and Nuno Mendes on the flanks. We had João Pelinha, Mateus Nunes, and Pedro Gonçalves in the midfield with, Pelinha and Mateus Nunes in the midfield with Bot, Nuno Santos, and Jovan Cabral up top. Steph, I'll start it off with you. What were your thoughts on today's game?
Well, I thought initially we started very strong, and that the last 10, 15, the first 10, 15 minutes, and then after that, Gil Vicente kind of evened the game. And then for some reason, we clicked again, and then the last 15 minutes of the first half, we regained control of the game. The first dangerous play was at the beginning. It was almost an autogolo, like we say in Portuguese, own goal from the Gil Vicente defender. But the reflexes of the goalie of Gil Vicente were amazing. Then the second half, Gil Vicente playing the way they play, super defensive, which we were expecting it after watching the game against Futebol Clube Porto, nas Antas, or no Dragão, now like it's called. We knew that we were going to face a very difficult team. Porto barely won against them, the 1-0 against Gil Vicente. They played extremely well at Estádio do Dragão. So I was expecting Gil Vicente to give us some great headaches, which they did. They play super defensive. The same tactic, believe it or not, the same tactic as we play, and it was like a puzzle. It fit in to each other, both tactics. And Gil Vicente, they were lethal in the counterattack. And then in the second half, they scored that goal in a indirect kick on a silly foul that we committed, and it looked very ugly for Sporting until Ruben Amorim realized he had to make some subs, and he did make some subs, and he didn't wait, and that's what I like about him. When he makes subs, he makes them early enough so it doesn't impact into the game, and it worked out perfectly. The first goal from Sporad in a kind of a combination of a lucky play, but that's what you expect from Sporad to score those goals, and he did. And then that great pass from Bragança to Tomás, and the instinct that Tomás has, and he scored that second goal, amazing. And then but in the third goal, he killed the game. But Gil Vicente was a tough opponent. I can see Benfica struggling with them when they play against them as well, and every other team, Braga and any other team.
Porto did the last game, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Porto barely won against them, and Gil Vicente has a very good team, very consistent team, and when they play super defensive like today, they're very hard to beat. But keep in mind that these teams, these smaller teams, that's the way they're going to play against us at José Alvalade. So we got to be prepared, and we got to find ways to penetrate those super defensive teams. And it looks like the solution is not Jovan as the striker. It has to be Sporad. It has to be Sporad. We need a presence in the box to hold those the center backs of Gil Vicente in this case, or any other team that plays the same style of game. And then we'll see a better, easier game for Sporting to be able to score. I don't think Giovanni is the proper player to play as a striker. He's kind of lost, like, in the man of no land in that position. He's more of a winger. I think Mourinho's trying to test him in that position, but I don't think it's working out.
Yeah, I agree. How about you, Christian? What were your thoughts on today's game?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main takeaway was that the subs really were, I think, the critical thing here, because to be honest, the first half was absolute shite. There was no chances created. I don't even think we had a shot on target. If we did, it was not a real one. It was just fucking dribbler to the goalie or some shit, because first half was so bad. Someone tweeted a picture of like someone's like I think it's literally like Bojinov maybe like sleeping on the bench, and yeah, that describes how I felt about the first half. But he did the subs in enough of a timely fashion. I think he took Netu out, which it's hilarious. I mentioned it to these guys in the group chat. Netu gets subbed out in like the 60th minute of every game now at this point, which is just like comical. He is eventually going to lose his starting spot to either Quaresma or Inácio. Time is ticking away, because getting subbed in the 60th minute of legit every game is not a compliment to the way you've been playing. So I think he took out Netu, put Sporad in, put Tomás in, took out Jovan, who was not good, as we mentioned earlier. And he put Bragança in, and I mean, those were the three critical players, right? Sporad really changed the game once he was in there. We started seeming like we were more dynamic. Obviously, he's been trying to prove himself to Amorim, who clearly isn't that big of a fan, but thankfully got a goal today. Hopefully did more to convince him. I certainly think he played pretty well. Bragança to Tomás for the second goal, the winner. I mean, that's beautiful. That last 10 minutes was just, really, it was like a 3-minute spell, like the 80th to the 83rd minute. That was awesome. And then there really wasn't any that dicey of moments that down the stretch. And then Gonçalves, really calm finish to ice it. Yeah. The scoreline maybe a bit inflated at the end of the day compared to the performance, but definitely deserved the winners, I would say.
Yeah.
And in second place now, uncontested in second place.
Exactly. And I think that's what the Journal said yesterday was our best start in 5 years or something like that, or one of our best starts. The only better was Jorge Jesus. So, we're off to a flyer. I'll give my 2 cents real quick. I think games like this, where we come up against adversaries that like to park the bus and like to defend with everybody back, all credit to Gil Vicente. I mean, it's clearly working for them. They had us on the ropes for the longest time. The thing I actually not liked, obviously, as a Sporting fan, but the thing I can actually respect is they weren't just always throwing themselves to the floor. I don't know how much of that had to do with their keeper getting a yellow card in the first 30 minutes of the game, which shout out to the ref for doing that, because I think that was a first for me at least to see, and I definitely enjoyed that. Side note.
No hesitation either. Right
Exactly.
to the pocket.
No warning, nothing. That you're wasting time. Toma. I loved it. Even with the Pelinha yellow card in the first 30 seconds of the game, I think it was a yellow. It was a pretty tough. I get that, maybe the first minute or two you sort of let things go, but that's studs up on a guy's foot. I think there's no other thing to do. I think the ref was right on calling a yellow. But anyways, what I was saying was, where we play against teams that like to defend with every man behind the ball, I think we should explore different ideas. We shouldn't really go to a 4-3-3 where we kind of invite pressure and try to counter it. We should go for maybe a more, if we want to stay with 3 at the back, fine, so be it. But we should go for a more attacking, free-flowing sort of formation that'll help us at least push them backwards, or at least have them feel like they can push up a bit for us to maybe attack them more. I mean, like Christian mentioned, Neto being there is just a liability. Another game where when he wasn't called upon many times. When he had a smeller quite a few times. And I think it's just pointless to have Neto on just to bring him off every time we're losing or draw every time we're 1-1 and within the 60th minute. I think it's just a waste of a sub. We might as well just have either Gonçalo Inácio there, or hopefully when Quaresma comes back.
Quaresma was on the bench today, which indicates that he is healthy-ish, I guess.
Yeah, I think they didn't want to play him today at the end just in case, to re-aggravate that injury.
Yeah, precaution.
That's why maybe. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, they did say it was more precaution that the medical staff was keeping an eye on him.
Yeah, exactly. So I know Neto's eventually going to leave that position. I'd prefer us to maybe play a more of an attacking formation, or more of an attacking game against a team like Gil Vicente that like to park the bus. Because we're playing Tondela this weekend, and Tondela is another team that loves to do that. But more so, and it's the frustration, and I'll also ask you guys about this. What is it with Sporar that, or even Tiago Tomás, that Amorim doesn't like to have him in the starting 11? Is it more of a formation thing that we have just so many good midfielder-centric forward players in Pot and João Mário, even though he couldn't play today, even Bragança, that maybe he doesn't want to utilize a guy like Sporar or Tiago Tomás? Or what do you guys think it is that with Amorim with not wanting to start either one of those two usually? Steph, I'll pass that one to you.
Boys, you have to say me or Chris, because we will stay on standby.
Okay, I could give it to Chris.
Tá bom.
I'll give it to both of you.
I know you would. I don't know what you're talking about, though. You said you'll give it to both of us. I think it's a question of speed. So with Nunes and we're playing with Nunes, Pot, and Giovanni. So he's looking for speed. When you play with Sporar, he plays in a more vertical way, and Tomás as well. They're more ponta de lanças, strikers. So that's why he initially wants to play with 3 fast players, hoping that the combination will work out, and then they'll be able to score some fast goals. And it almost worked out today. If we scored that first goal against Gil Vicente, I think we would have won by 4 or 5-0. But since we didn't score from the beginning, it became a difficult game. And I think that's what Ruben Amorim wants. He wants to play with 3 really fast-paced players. But I think Giovanni's not in that. He can't play as a striker. He's more of a winger. He's testing him, but it's not working out so far. Me personally, I agree with João Castro, because I did listen to the Sporting160 podcast. I think Sporar should start the game because he plays more in in a vertical way. Am I saying it correctly? The translation vertical?
Yeah, vertical.
Yeah.
Vertical. Yeah, am I right? Okay. So he's not as much as speed, Sporad, but as you saw when he came back, how many touches did he have inside the box, Sporad? A lot more than Giovanni. Giovanni, when he plays as a striker, he doesn't have too many touches inside the boxes because he doesn't feel comfortable. He's more of a winger. When you play Sporad, he plays in the middle of the defense of Gil Vicente on today's game, and he's able to hold the ball and then pass the ball, and he feels more comfortable inside the box. And that's how the second goal happened, because he dominated the ball, and then he passed it to Bragança, and Bragança passed it to Tomás, and then it was a goal. So it's a question of how he likes to play his team, Ruben Amorim. But when he sees he's in trouble, he doesn't hesitate to make the substitutions, which I like that. He doesn't wait until minute 75, which I think that's way too late. I think he made the substitutions around 60, 65.
60, yeah.
60.
Yeah.
And that's when you should make the substitutions.
Yeah, it felt like a good time. It felt like a good time.
Yeah. You're giving them 30 plus minutes because of the extra time. And it paid off. And it's been paying off for Sporting, which means that we have a deep, decent bench, which we didn't have last year.
Finally. Yeah, exactly.
I know, finally. Limpo nariz, taxa de ranho.
Coronavirus. I shouldn't even touch my face. What am I doing? Let me bust out the Purell. Yeah, man. And I agree. Listen, it's working out so far, but I think there's going to be games eventually where we're going to need to call upon, like you were saying, Steph, with Sporad. Like, he came on today, he changed the game. He changed the way we played. We were actually finally looking for the goal against Santa Clara. I know we'll get into it. I thought he had the team playing a bit better when he came on, and he almost scored a beautiful bicycle kick too. And like Johnny said, he holds up the ball beautifully. Johnny's words, New York's finest. Yeah, I don't know what else to really talk about. The only thing I really wanted to mention was how bullshit is it that... Well, actually, two things I wanted to mention. One, how bullshit is it that João Mario couldn't play today, seeing as a few years ago it never stopped Porto from having a completely different 11 against Estoril. When it came to that game where half their fucking squad was injured and they were down 1-0.
Fucking rigged, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, they won like 4-1. They were down 1-0, and they won
like 5-1 or 4-1.
Yeah.
And like Marega wasn't in that game, and then all of a sudden in the second half, like 2 months later, he's in. Like, fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I just wanted to quickly mention that. And
I'm sorry to interrupt you. They say
go.
They're announcing the winner within the hour. Presidential of Benfica.
Wow. Okay. Maybe we'll still be on. Maybe we'll still be on. But anyways, yeah. And then the only other thing I wanted to mention was how sad it was today with Gil Vicente, or in terms of fans there, because a few weeks ago we had 2,000 fans at least to watch the seleção. This last weekend we had a fucking cambada de gente lá no Portimão a ver o Fórmula 1, but we couldn't. I mean, it's probably good for the workers in Lisboa that have to go to work tomorrow morning, seeing as it's past midnight now. But I mean, it's kind of sad not seeing any fans there. I think, seeing as we've already had fans there for the Seleção, why can't they have fans there for the Sporting game? That's the only real takeaway I had too. That I kind of wanted to say. Yeah. Anything else on this game or man of the match?
Man of the match for me. It's going to be a non-conventional man of the match because I think the man of the match didn't play a full game. I think many men of the match didn't play the full game. Yeah. But for me, I'm going to go Sporad because I think he changed the game. And he also scored the goal. First goal.
Fair. Yeah, fair enough. How about you, Steph?
I agree with Chris, but I'm going to say Tomás because... but Sporad did score the goal, and then he made almost an assist. It was Bragança, but he made the whole play for that goal. But Tomás, as being the age he is, up and coming, and he scored the second goal like he's been playing for 20 years in the A squad. It's too much.
Yeah. I'm gonna go just to be different. I'm gonna go with Pelinga, more of on the defensive side. I thought he did well today too. Am I saying it fucked up?
No, he didn't.
Pelinga.
No.
Okay, I said good. Okay. I know Pelinga. I don't want to say not P. I used to say Pelinga all the time as a kid. That's why I might get it confused.
You know what? Pelinga.
Here we go again, man.
I know.
Here we go again.
I know what it means. It's right next to the coins, bro. This is just to show. Gabriel Couto, because he was questioning why we were speaking English earlier. This is why.
Gabriel Couto, olha, se quiseres ouvir em português é muito fácil. O Sporting160EN lá de Portugal faz em português. A gente fala inglês porque somos aqui da América do Canadá. Ok, meu amigo, um abraço.
Yeah, exactly. What Steph said.
There it is.
Yeah, all right, perfect. Let's go into the Santa Clara game. Same 11 as today, but I'll remind everybody anyways. Then in net, we had Sebastian Coates, Fedal, Luis Neto in the back with Nuno Mendes and Pedro Porro, with Pelinga and Mateus Nunes in the midfield, with Pot, Nuno Santos, and Jovan up top. And of course, we won 2-1 at Açores. Always a tough place to go to. And with some fans, as I just mentioned. Christian, I'll start this one off with you, dude. What were your thoughts on that game on Saturday?
To be honest, it also was kind of shitty. At least large swaths of it. First half, I guess we were a little bit better than them. And we took advantage. Gonçalves, I believe, had both the goals, right? He took advantage of his chance. I mean, basically, he was opportunistic on both of his goals. And it basically felt like we were kind of lucky to get out of there, more so than today. Today, it didn't feel like we were that lucky to get out of there with 3 points. And this game was also a game that had a late winner, and it did feel like we were a little lucky to get out of there with 3 points because we weren't really threatening the goal, right? None of our chances were that threatening, and we weren't really creating that many. There was the one Sporad chance right in front of the goal, and that one sticks in my head as like one that we definitely should have capitalized on. But I mean, overall, it felt like we had the gas to potentially get over the finish line and create a winning chance and win the game. But like the way that the goal came about off of like kind of like a weird looping ball that the goalie kind of took out the defender and Gonçalves just easily finished. Like it felt kind of weird. But I mean, I'll take him anyway, to be honest. And Gonçalves has scored like 75% of his shots on target, so he's off to a pretty blistering start, I would say. Is he the leading scorer
of the league or of
the team?
I think so. I don't know anybody else with more than 3. I don't know anybody else. Maybe Thiago Tomás might have 3.
Tomás might have 2 or 3. Yeah.
Yeah. I can check that. Give me a sec. Anyways, how about you, Steph? What were your thoughts?
I think we basically dominated the game in the first half. It was totally Sporting. We didn't give them a chance whatsoever. It was a good win. I never felt that we were going to lose that game. The mistake by Coates. No, we gave them the goal. It was a mistake by Coates, which he should know better. But we all make mistakes. He's a human being. And then Adan also came out of the post in a really childish way. I didn't like it. I mean, I think he should have stayed back and wait for the play. And then there's a Santa Clara striker. he's been around the Portuguese league for quite a few years, so he knows how to play. He's not a silly player, so that was a good goal by him. But besides that, I mean, uh, we scored a late goal, but we deserved to win, and I don't think the victory of Sporting Portugal was never in question. And congratulations against a tough team. I don't see Porto and Benfica having an easy game at Açores San Miguel. They'll struggle as well. And Braga, I like Club Braga because I think they up and coming. So that was a tough win. That game is done and over with away. And let's keep in mind that Sporting has won 3 games away, which is phenomenal. Last year, I think we only won 6 games away. So
that's far, so bad.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So last year we won 6 games away, and this year we already won all 3 games away. And we tied at home against Football Club Porto, which is nothing to be ashamed of because they are the champions of Portugal. They just won against Olympiacos in the Champions League. So they are a good team. So we should have won that game. I'm not going to say it again, but I'm pretty sure I will say it again a few times today. But so far so good. I couldn't expect more from this team. I mean, if you ask me at the beginning of the season where Sporting would be after five games, I would say maybe in 4th or 5th place, but we're in 2nd place. So that's a pretty good feeling.
Yeah. Chris, just to go back to you, Transfer Market only has him as 1 goal, but he scored against Aberdeen and against Lask. So
his goals were not for the league. Okay.
Yeah. So in the league, yes, Pot is number 1, but in total, they're both tied for 3 goals. If we're gonna count the Europa League qualifications, which I mean, I do at least. I don't know why anybody wouldn't, but so yeah, they're both tied. But some crazy stat that you were giving me off just before we went on. Pot has like 3 goals and like 5 shots.
Yeah, on target.
Crazy. On target.
He
5
had
shots
one
on target.
Off target today.
Yes. Yeah. Though, like, a brilliant move from him. Anyways, if that goes on target, that's fucking incredible. In terms of the Santa Clara game, I have nothing really more to add. I'm just disappointed really to see how much of a liability Coates can be at times. Don't get me wrong. I think he's still our best center back and captain material. I wouldn't have anybody else leading the helm. But, and I know Johnny might get pissed off for me saying this or complimenting him, but I have to also give Johnny, his reasoning when, I'm going off Johnny's tweets mainly. But he's right because Coates has cost us a few goals already this season, and that Santa Clara one, it's all him really. It's all him. So it's disappointing to see. I don't know if it has to do with age. It's not that he's too old, but I mean, he's on the wrong side of 20, I guess.
Who he is, man. That's just kind of who he is. He just does it. He just does it every year so often. Just is a frango.
Yeah, he's a defending frango. He has a frango in him. Yeah, I agree though. That's the only really disappointing thing I have with him, and I hope not too many of these happen because last season especially he had quite a smeller.
The hat trick and penalties game.
Yeah, he had more own goals.
Several own goals. Yeah,
than we've had like fucking goals at one point or something. Nothing else more to add on this. I'm just gonna get on to more other transfer news, especially. But before we move on, your man of the match for Santa Clara. I didn't really watch this game, so I'm not gonna chime in on that. But who is your man of the match, guys?
I'm gonna go Palinha.
Yeah. How about you, Steph?
I'm gonna go with Pot because he scored both goals, and especially the second goal. That was a phenomenal goal.
Yeah, and on that second goal, shout out to Fidel because whether he intended to do that or not, great ball. He put the ball into the space and then let Pot attack it, and good things happen when Pot attacks space. I can see already. Let's get into the transfer news. The biggest one that happened, I guess. Vietu going to Al Hilal, formerly of Jorge Jesus, currently of André Carrillo, as those Saudis loved to remind us on fucking
And
Twitter.
Giovinco.
And Giovinco, my boy.
And Gomez.
And yeah, Gomes from Swansea. What a legend. We sold them, correct me if I'm wrong, we sold them for 7 million, but we split those 7 million 50-50 between Atleti and us, so we really only collect 3.5.
7 million for 75%.
For 70, yeah, but we have 25% of a future sale.
Yeah.
That we then only collect, from what I was hearing on Trio de Attack, we then only collect 10% of that or 15% of that.
12.5.
12.5. Okay, and then the other 12.5 goes to Atleti as well.
Yes.
That's if they sell him.
Yeah.
Because he's currently on a contract of 15 million a year.
You know what's gonna happen if he leaves? They're just gonna cut him. They're gonna terminate his deal. Yeah, there's no future sell on with that.
Yeah,
dude.
there's no way that's happening. So, boys, what are your thoughts on that? We basically made a loss of 3.5 or 4.5 million. What are your thoughts? The year that Vietu had in Lisbon, the semester abroad, if you will, or the year abroad, dignifying of a send off that we gave him, or I mean, not a bad player.
What was your favorite moment of Vietu?
He scored a banger, not like a bicycle kick. It was a fucking
side volley.
Yeah, that was really the only thing I can say.
Caused the PK against Besiktas in the Europa League knockout.
Scored against Porto to tie up the game, at least.
He did. He was right place at the right time.
It was a good send-off, at least.
Yeah.
Richard Nebb saying Al Hilal building the perfect team for FIFA 18 career mode so far. Bro, yeah, exactly. When Carrillo was at his peak and Gio was at his peak. But yeah, what do you make of this transfer, Christian? I'll start it off with you, dude.
I mean, it's just an L. I mean, he was an L to begin with. I feel like the only reason we got him is because George Menz forced us to take him to plug the hole, of the negotiation, because they didn't want to give us the 35 or whatever. So they're like 23 and this random dude that we're just going to value at 7.5 for half. And we're just like, okay. And so it's 30 mil, but dude, you valued that clown at 15 mil and then just shuffled him off to us. Ridiculous, man. He was never worth 15 mil. That's the truth of the matter. Maybe we wouldn't feel so bad at him if we got him for 5 mil or something, but 15 mils, we paid 7.5, and now, I mean, basically, here's the unfortunate truth that I think is that you're never seeing a deal better than this one, right? If he plays this whole season, where's a better deal going to come from? A top 5 league, is some German team gonna want him? No. Who's gonna even pay anywhere near that? Was anyone ever gonna offer double digits for him? I don't see it. So honestly, the Saudis came in with just basically a pretty low balled, but I feel like they had no choice but to take this deal. But it is embarrassing the way that they celebrated it, because I think this was the first player that Veranda's sold that was a player that he's signed, because he's been unable to offload a lot of his other guys. Doumbia, not Bataglia, not bad example. Doumbia, Alori, Kamashu, all his guys that he's unable to offload. But Vietu was his first sale. So first sale, net 4 million loss, but a beautifully made 2-minute video where Vietu remembers his semester abroad fondly. And now he's off to hang out with the Saudis. The Saudi royal family. I think that's what I love. So good for him.
I gotta tip my hat off to him, man. He convinced somebody to pay him 15 million, man. I can't hate on that.
Over 3 years, he's not seeing those the full 3 years.
Oh, Twitter had me convinced he was signing 15 million a year.
No, wait.
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. That's still pretty good money.
But he's making 5 mil clean, so he's probably making 10 or something. But after taxes, he's taking home 5. It's a lot.
What's up, bro?
Am I back?
No, I'm back. Chris is.
Oh.
He was.
Oh,
Was
okay. I
I?
thought it was me.
No, it was Chris.
Oh, okay.
That was weird.
Christian, all I was gonna say was I don't think do the Saudis believe in taxes? So much fucking oil out there, bro. What kind of taxes do they have? At least the provinces with
I don't know,
taxes here in
man.
Canada, they don't, or the provinces with oil here in Canada, they don't pay taxes. So
Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure they probably cut him a deal.
I'm
Whatever
kidding.
happened, the
Yeah.
deal was cut.
yeah, they got Zorro for them. Steph, what were your thoughts
Yeah.
on this move, man?
And I feel the same way as Chris. And I got to tell you that this actually was a good deal. Selling him for $7 million. That's how much is worth it in the transfer market. He's not worth it more than that. And like Chris said, the initial deal with Athletic de Madrid that we pay 7.5, that he was valued at 50 million. That was fucking insane. In the transfer market, he was not valued at 50 million. That was a deal that
Coming
Athletic
off of
Madrid-
like a failed loan spell at Valencia and a failed loan spell at Fulham, like
Yeah,
exactly. So Athletic de Madrid with George Mendes, they fucked Sporting in the ass. There's no other way to say we got fucked in the ass because Gelson Martins was. They said he was sold for 23 million. But then, if you take away how much we paid for Vieto, which was 7.5, so then you lower it to 15 million, correct?
roughly, yeah.
15.5.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we sold them for 7 million, so that was 3.5, so it goes to 19 million. So the sale was for 19 million for Gelson Martins.
No, it's
And
for less because we lost money on it, right?
Okay, so if it's for less, so there we go. So it was
3.5. It's 3.5. It's 4 million less than. It's like we got 13 million for Gelson, basically.
So they said we sold Gelson Martins for 23 million. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's write it down. 23 million. But we
Math.
paid for.
Fuck.
I fucking math. We paid how much for Vieto? 7.5
for 50%.
7.5. So minus 23. 005, 5 para 10 são 5, e vai 8 para 3. Isso é para o Couto, que eu também falo português. 8, 5. So it was 15.5. So we sold them for 7 million. So we got 3.5. So yeah, it's 19 million. So the deal for Gelson Martins was 19 million.
And that's about less than half of what like we were asking for.
40 million. Yep. Yeah. Exactly. So that's the deal we made, and but at the same time, I will sympathize with the Verandas of the administration, because Vieto, I think he was making
I think he was making like 2.5 million.
2.5, which signifies 5 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
2.5 clean,
or maybe like 2.2, 2.3 or something.
Something like that. So, but Sporting was paying the taxes, so he was making like 5 million a year. So they offloaded a very heavy salary, and that could offset a lot of things. But it was a bad deal all around. So the last portion of the business, selling him to the Saudis, was a good deal, because now we don't have such an expensive salary. Do you know how much Mateus Nunes makes
now or before?
Now.
No clue.
1.2 million.
No.
800K.
Nem chega aí, yeah. I don't think it.
No.
650K.
No.
300K.
He makes 350.
How much did he make before? 60?
150.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Damn,
not much of a fucking it.
He was making
He
150.
was making 150 as a B team player?
Yeah, what the
Holy.
fuck, dude?
No. He was making 150 because this is his second.
Yeah, so this is the second renewal because the first renewal brought him to 20.
Oh, yeah. Fair.
2024. So basically, the second renewal was pretty pointless, to be honest. But whatever.
Yeah.
If it makes him happier, then I guess.
So he renewed until 2025, and then for 60 million, closet de rescisão.
Yeah, that's always those things are bullshit, man. The buyout clause, like it's so stupid. They're honestly
whatever we end up paying Braga for Amorim is basically what we're gonna sum it to.
Are we the only club to pay a buyout clause? To trigger a buyout clause?
I guess so.
I gotta tell you now. I'm not ashamed to admit it, but Benfica has been the club that negotiates the best.
About what?
When they sell players.
Fucking. Oh, I mean,
when they sell
why though?
When you have George Mins helping you out,
you know what? We have him, but we don't have him like that yet.
But
we have
George
him, but not like that.
George Mins, we are in the second tier. Benfica is in first.
Yeah.
tier.
It's like the tiers of the uniforms. You know, we're like, we're not a tier 2 man.
We're not second. No,
we're tier 3.
We're like tier
4.
7, tier 8. Tier 2 is for like non-named Forest that he just forgot about.
I was trying to be very optimistic.
You're right. My bad.
Wolves is a tier 1 club. Benfica is a tier 1.
Tier 1. Atleti tier 1.
Yeah, tier 1. Like Valencia's dropped down a little bit, yo. They're on the shit list right now.
In Portugal, they say o carrossel. A gente tá no carrossel número 3 ou 4. Yeah. I mean, hey, Varandas is not a good negotiator, and I know that. So I think Sporting needs a new administration. They need to get rid of all the dinosaurs, and I think me, you, and Chris, we should go and for elections next time.
I'm down. So, President das cervejas, let me take care of this. You guys do the rest. Don't worry about it. All right, we talked about Matheus Nunes, talked about Vietu. I wanted to talk about one more thing. Nothing special. I mean, there's no real news to it. I just wanted to announce that Sporting now are fighting legal battles, or not Sporting, but Varandas is filing legal battles against Pinto Costa after he filed a criminal complaint.
Hurting his feelings?
What I'm assuming is defamation of character by calling him a bandido.
Yeah, what?
I'm assuming.
You can't win cases like that, man. It's impossible.
I don't know how the Portuguese justice system works. So I don't know too much.
No.
Yeah, all right, lock him up.
I don't know.
Lock him up in 5 years.
Honestly, lock him up. Let's go. Get Varandas the fuck out of here.
Locked up for saying like a very like mild critique that like you can literally like Google and like see what he's talking about.
I'm sure Luis Felipe Vieira's called him worse. I'm sure of it.
Yeah,
I'm sure Bruno Carvalho's called him worse.
Yeah.
You know, so.
My take on this, I'm going to tell the truth. I mean, Pinto Costa shouldn't be offended, especially when Portice said that Pinto Costa won 22 championships and 13 Portuguese Cups. All I have to say is apito ravo. And when you Google it, it tells you everything. It's taped. There's the documentation. Portices don't want to realize it. They want to admit it because they in big time denial. But when you hear the scooters, when you hear what's going on, you know that fruta existed, prostitution existed, payout existed. The only thing that Porto benefited of was they had great lawyers, they had the judicial system in their pocket, and that's why they overcame all the corruption that they did. Because if I'm not mistaken, Porto has how many titles? 29?
I don't know off the top. You said it last week and I forgot. I think 29. I think you're right.
Okay, so I'll Google it really fast. But I think okay, so I think they have 29. So if you deduct 22 out of 29, o Futebol Clube Porto should only have 7 titles. And then Taças Portugal, they brag about Pinta Costa. So they should Futebol Clube Porto shouldn't be called Futebol Clube Porto. They should be called Futebol Clube Pinta Costa. Because they love the man so much, they should change the fucking name of the club. So then if you look at 12 Portuguese Cups, and I believe they have 17, then they should only have 5. So
you're spot on, by the way, Steph. 29 and 17. Sorry, go ahead.
Got it. And I'm not Portista. By all means, I would never be. That would be an insult to my intelligence. So Futebol Clube Porto technically should have a total of 7 Portuguese championships and a total of 5 Portuguese cups. And then that would erase the 7 international cups because they wouldn't qualify for those European competitions. All I'm saying is, to my Portista friends and soon-to-be enemies, I'm guessing, that don't brag so much about your fucking club when your club was corrupt in the 80s and the 90s. So you have no moral to criticize Benfica, which by no means I'm defending them, because under Luis Vieira, how many titles they won in Portuguese cups and championships and Taças da Liga, that also should be erased from the palmarès of Benfica, and they should also be deducted. All those championships won by corruption. So, to finalize my thoughts, fuck Porto and fuck Benfica. I don't give 2 shits about them. Oh no, actually, I'm gonna take it back. I respect the institution of Futebol Clube Porto, and I respect the institution of Sporting Lisboa e Benfica. Even though they have 3 foundation dates, I'm still confused about that. But I don't respect Pinta Costa and Luis Vieira. They could die today. Nobody would miss them, not even their mother.
The people that make money off of them would miss them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Claro que sim. Vão todos para o caralho.
Bandido será sempre bandido. At least Varane said one thing.
He's gonna sue you now for saying
At
that.
least.
No, but listen,
he's got nothing to sue.
The last 2 weeks, I've been a big Varane fan because
a fan.
Don't say big. Don't say big.
Espera. He blew some balls, and he actually said some things that I would love him to say, and he finally said it. So, parabéns ao Varandas. Epá, até parece que sim, meu. Porra, até que enfim.
Keep a close eye on him and see what he stays up to.
I'll give him this.
We criticize him so much, so let
I mean, it is like the first good thing he's done in months.
That's trying to secure a fucking interview with Trevante Williams. I fucking love it. Let's go. Varandas in. I'm kidding. That's a joke. But I'll give Varandas this. In terms of incoming players, he's done fucking incredible so far this season. I have nothing to complain about. I can complain about the outgoing, so I don't want to say like he has a good transfer window. But in terms of incoming, he's definitely solidified the squad. I think the squad looks a lot better, as we were mentioning. We have depth coming off the bench. Something we haven't had since, I'll say, 2015. And even then, we were kind of like we had like 1 or 2 guys. What's up, Steph?
I agree with you, except for the dealing of those players.
Of course. Yes. Of course, I'm with you there as well. Though, I don't know what to believe because there's certain things that say we only got 50% of pot. And then the paper, like their books come out or the sheets come out saying that we actually got 100.
Well,
so I don't know what exactly to believe there.
It's a financial trick to like the sell on. If it's not because some leagues like get complicated with pass percentage, and I think his pass is even more complicated because I think Wolves still owns part of it.
Yeah, it's between like 3-4 teams. Yeah.
So whatever, it's all just accounting tricks to get around it, but it's effectively. See, also, I mean, I don't really. As a side note, I don't like tend to try to confuse anyone with my tweets. Especially like I know a lot of our fans live in England and in Premier League. There's no pass splitting. It's only sell-ons. I typically just keep my wording the same. Pass splitting 50% of his pass, just because I feel like that's the most easy and simple way to explain it. Because that's like effectively what it is. Yeah.
Got it. But yeah, there we are, praising Varandas. Who would have thought? 2020 is a weird year. Year.
If Luis Fiat loses tonight, if you have Varandas, you gotta say you're
everything you know.
Even if he wins, you gotta say, "Wow, man, squeaked one out, lucky or something." But he won't. So
he won't. And if he does leave, I want to hear everything about. At least start talking about 15-16 when he leaves.
Oh,
at least.
Any day now, he's gonna start talking about it like he promised. Any day now.
Don't hold your breath.
I've been holding it for 2 years.
A lot of Benfiquistas that I know from the US and Canada, they voted against Luis Fiat. I won't say their names because I would never put them on the spot, but they don't agree with Luis Fiat.
I feel like he's gonna squeak it out tonight, but even if he squeaks it out, I mean, that's still, let's say he squeaks it out, like 55, like 45. That means like still almost half the club hates you, you know? Like you're not like chilling anymore with your 80-20 wins that you used to have, you know?
I mean, hey, listen, all I gotta say is Varandas we can hate as much as we want, and we do. I mean, let's make it, let's emphasize that we do hate him. Me, you, and Danny. We hate him. We know that. Everybody knows that. Amen. But we can never say that Varandas was a sócio do Benfica or sócio do Porto. Now, Luis Fiat was a sócio do Porto for 25 years and a sócio do Sporting to use the swimming pools. And Benfiquistas accepting that, it shows how much they have a small brain. They have a brain this size. Assim, pequenino. Because all they give a fuck is winning, and it doesn't matter what. Not all Benfiquistas. Not all. I have a lot of Benfiquista friends that they want to win the clean way. But it looks like the majority of Benfiquistas, pouco importa como ganhar. Ganhar é ganhar. Nem que seja a batota, nem que seja ir a cu a gajo. Mais nada.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't really have any. Yeah, go.
Same thing for Portistas, by the way. A fruta, trips to Brazil, e prostitutas, e o caralho que isso foda.
Vinhos, como é que é? Putas de vinho verde. For those fuckers.
They love to criticize Benfica. Yeah. But they as corrupted as they were corrupted in the 80s and 90s as much as Benfica is corrupted now.
Yeah, agreed.
100% agreed. Guys, update on the Benfica elections. The final socio has voted at the pavilion. The only thing that we're waiting on now is a line of voters at the Seychelles house. Is the only place still open. All the other casas have finished their voting. In total, they're at around 37 to 38,000 socios voted, beating the previous record of 24,000.
Wow.
Which is fucking insane. And honestly, I feel like that massive turnout kind of could spell trouble for the incumbent president, I feel like.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Are these people coming out of the woodwork to solidify him, or are they coming out of the woodwork because they're pissed off? Like, where did these like 16,000 extra people come from?
I'm honestly, I'm gonna say it's a bit of both. I think I think more Benfica sausages are like, I think there's more of them thinking we got to either protect our president because the guy who's brought us to 2 European finals and has brought us almost or got us the treta or whatever it was, the penta or whatever.
Penta.
You know, whatever. They're going out. I think there's a lot of them going out to defend them, as much as there is a lot of them coming out of the woodworks and trying to get a new guy in and take the advice of Bernardo Silva.
If they come out tonight and overwhelmingly back him, then I fucking hate all of them more than I even thought that I did.
Dude, I think that's happening. Or like at least he's winning, I think.
But listen,
but how much though? That's the important thing.
I think by a significant amount. I'm gonna say
if Noronha wins, because that's the candidate that could win of the Benfica. Don't expect it to be an easy opponent, because he's a real Benfiquista. He knows a lot about Portuguese soccer, and he has a big influence in Portugal. But at least he'll start nice and clean, and then we'll know about all the corruption, or maybe not, that Filipe Vieira did at Benfica. Because if I'm going to be elected the Benfica president, the new one, the first thing I'm going to do is reveal all the corruption that went on, because I don't want to be my name to be tainted.
Or you could just keep the gravy train rolling and just become the new king of the empire.
Which is going to happen, especially if that Rui Gomes guy gets fucking elected. I'm guaranteeing you that's happening. Guaranteeing you.
Chris and Danny, you could do it that way, but then your integrity and your honor goes.
I mean, and I'm not gonna roll that out as a very likely scenario. But hey, yeah. I mean, I still like to see him fall for nothing else other than, it makes for great theater. Fuck him. So I hope he loses. So even if the new guy just sucks, then I hope that they vote him out in 4 years and they get on the president carousel just like us.
I think, Chris, just a quick example of a Luis Vieira fan, by the way. George from Football No Filter. I'm believing it's the same George, right? Right, Steph? Backing his Am I wrong on that, Steph? By the way.
Well,
Jorge Perigoso, is that the same one that did Football No Filter, or is this a different one?
I don't know if it's him, but he's not a fan of Luis Vieira.
Okay, then never mind. It's a different one. My bad.
It might be him, but Jorge Fernandes is not a big fan of Luis Vieira. He never liked him. So,
but anyways, this is an example of a Benfiquista that likes Luis Vieira. Nothing wrong with that. Whatever, you like who you like. I'm just saying. I think there's a lot more of these Benfica fans than we think, and maybe Twitter will never deceive me ever again. Twitter had me believe Bruno Carvalho was fine. This guy lost by 71%. It had me believe that Trump had no chance. Trump won, as we've seen. Had me believe that, and nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that's what it made me believe. It made me believe my boy Jagmeet Singh was gonna have some fucking some more, or the NDP, at least in Canada, is going to have a bit more chairs in Parliament. They lost so much. So what I'm saying is, I'm not believing fuck all from Twitter. I think this guy's going to. I think Luis Vieira is going to win. Is what I'm saying mainly.
No, but I'm gonna answer to Jorge Perigoso. The reason why you shouldn't support your corrupt president, it's because he's winning via corruption. That's why, George. Because if you guys won a clean way, then hey, thumbs up. There's nothing I can say. But you guys, the last few years, Benfica won via corruption. And if you can see that, there's nothing I can do. The only thing you have to do, if you're Catholic, go to your priest and confess.
And more so on top of that, the only thing you really see Benfica in terms of international media outside of Portugal, like when they're in the New York Times, it has nothing to do with the titles they're winning. It has more to do with how they're winning these titles, the negotiations they're doing with these deals with Jorge Mendes, with João Felix, etc., etc. So, as much as you're saying that he took them from the shit from Valles Vedo,
that was such a long time ago.
Exactly, that was such a long time ago.
But before him, it was Vilarinho. And then after Vilarinho, then it was him. So it was not even him. It was Vilarinho. So Georgie needs to check his facts as a Benfiquista. I guess he's not a real Benfiquista then, because he would know all the facts. But all I got to say is Luis Vieira, once he gets kicked out of Benfica, he's going straight to jail.
No, he's not. None of these guys ever go to jail.
You know who's protecting him now?
It's almost impossible to go to jail.
No, you know who's protecting him now? It's Benfica.
The president of the country.
Yeah. Benfica.
The institution of Benfica is protecting him. But when the day becomes a citizen not related to Benfica, Sporting Benfica, he's going to go to jail. You'll see.
Don't hold your breath. I'm not going to hold my breath.
I won't.
I do not to as well. I would love to see it, but I just have so little faith in justice ever being served to people like that.
Especially in Portugal.
Especially in Portugal.
I'm glad you became a Portuguese, Chris. I'm glad, because you know what I'm talking about. And I'm glad you became a Portuguese because I could never be a fan of a club that has two different names, Sporting Lisboa e Benfica. My club is Sporting Portugal, and that's it. We don't have an "and" in between. Benfica, it's two different clubs, and then they merged, and then they still have three different dates. And I'm going to say that over and over again because to me it's fucking funny that Benfica think they have one club and they have two clubs to support.
And from my experience, every Brighton and Hull Albion fan I've met have been a bunch of fucking weirdos. West Bromwich Albion, like, are you West Brom? Are you,
Yeah.
Fuck teams with two names is what I'm saying.
Brighton and Hull Albions are crazy, man.
I know.
I like their logo, though. I like
Bosnia and Herzegovina, however you pronounce that. Like, come on, pick a fucking name, you fucking stupid country. Am I right? Like,
just like Benfica and Sporting Lisboa.
Exactly. And yeah, David, to our Braga buddy, he did say this would be the last term he serves if he does win, which then he'll be then passing the reins off to Rui Costa, who will then be continuing the same sort of corruption that's been going on for years. Do not worry.
There's no guarantee that he even actually sticks with the 4 years.
That too. Luis Vieira, especially when I remember when Bruno Carvalho said just towards the end of his mandat, he said about what were the vote? We went to votes, and he said if he didn't get like the certain things passed, it was the things that he got that was like 90%, 88%, 87%. I forget what we were voting for, but anyways, he said that if he didn't get an overwhelming amount of votes, that he would just stop. Like he would quit as president. He would quit as president. And then Benfica is all chirping that, oh, this is da-da-da. Meanwhile, Luis Vieira had said that about like 10 years prior. So, I mean, this isn't something new for Luis Vieira to say. So, again, yeah, I'm with you. We'll see. We'll see if this happens. If he does get reelected today, we'll see if in 4 years he's not running for it again.
I respect more Antonio Salvador do Sporting Braga than Benfica and Pinto Costa put together. Benfica and Luis Vieira and Pinto Costa put together in a boat that sinks in the Titanic, that would be fucking great.
Yeah.
Podem ir os dois para o caralho.
Oh, and sorry, this George guy, I forgot. Shout out to George, bro. I went to school with him. I totally forgot his last name. Shout out to my boy George.
O Jorge Perigoso.
Perigoso, yeah.
That's his last name, Perigoso.
Perigoso. I thought it was Judge Freire. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I guess it is. I don't know.
No, it's not. Danny, it's
no. I'm saying George. I also know a Judge Freire is what I'm saying. That's why it might not be his last name. But anyways, that doesn't matter. Sorry to put your government out there, bro. My bad. Didn't mean to actually say your full name, but
he's Canadian then.
Yeah, he knows where I live, Steph. So please, like, before this guy fucking fucks me up. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Net vai ao cu, net paga.
But yeah, any news on that? Oh yeah, well, we're still waiting for results, so we're gonna be waiting here for a while. But anyways, that was a good
1 hour. 100 voters left in line.
How many COVID cases have happened in Lisbon since
64? Link to this.
Probably.
Yeah, I agree with David Pereira.
Yeah.
I like him too, but 17, 18 years as a president, it's hard to be clean in the league. I agree with him. I do.
You can try a bit harder than him, though.
I agree with George Costa George. He said, fuck Pink de Bosta corruption. Now, I don't like Pinto Costa. I think he's a cancer in the Portuguese soccer, and he should have died a long time ago.
He might have. It might be a weekend at Bernie's kind of thing.
Stunt double or some shit.
Nah, he's a piece of shit. Well, Pinto Costa is the most corrupted president in the Portuguese soccer. He overpasses Luis Vieira. Luis Vieira next to him, he's still in fucking elementary school.
They're both. Yeah. It's an incredible 1-2 punch.
Yeah, but o Pinto Costa ganhou 22 campeonatos e 12 taças de Portugal, via corrupção. O Luis Vieira is still playing catch up, and us, we're still below the line. I mean, we don't even know what corruption is all about. They blame us for cash ball.
Something that's been resolved for like 2 years now that we've been like absolved.
Do you know what's the difference between us, Benfica, and Porto? It's the administrators. They said they were involved in the cash ball. They're no longer at Sporting. The administrators, they said they part of Pinturado emails in Tupeira. They still at Benfica and Porto. That's where the big fucking difference is. And when you talk to Benfiquistas, Portistas about that, they don't want to hear that. But they have to hear it. The administrators that supposedly were involved in cash balls, they no longer at Sporting. But you are Pinturado in fucking Tupeira in emails, they're still there, and you applaud them. You still say, hey, viva Pinto Costa, viva Luis Vieira.
And guys like Paul Gonçalves,
exactly,
who were out of the club, are still in it and never were actually out, but also are signing players on behalf of Ferenc in like the most obvious scheme of all time. Like, man, they don't even try to hide it. It's just so out in the open for everyone to see. Like, oh man. I mean, I guess you gotta respect them, right? They just let it all out, right? They don't even care. That's how little confidence they have that something's actually going to happen to them.
They're the cockroaches, bro. Nuclear bombs couldn't get rid of them.
I mean, we could talk about a few modalidades with no corruption. Let's talk about volleyball. Benfica dominates it.
Yeah.
There's no questions about that. Benfica is the best team. But then when we talk about futsal, Sporting is the best team. But there's no corruption involved in those modalidades, and that's why the best team wins. But when we talk about soccer, you could see that the Benfica was benefited the last years, and Porto was benefiting in the 80s and the 90s. I mean, if you don't want to admit it, then you're a dumb fuck.
And my last thing on cash ball, though I've probably mentioned it a million times, I'll just say it again. I love how Benfiquistas are always like, when we were going, especially in the beginning, when we started winning, dominating across all modalidades. Who cares about modalidades, bro? Futebol é que importa. I have yet to hear the end of cash ball, even though, again, we've been absolved of it. I thought you didn't care about modalidades. What's this cash ball you're mentioning right now, bro?
É verdade. Because you know what? I had to hear this shit from Bruno and Josh Fernandes. They were talking about cash balls. And then last week or 2 weeks ago, I got really upset with them. Really upset, which I fucking quit the podcast and I came back recently. And I told them exactly what you just said. How the fuck can you talk about cash ball when you don't give a fuck about modalidades?
Listen, no Porto fan can talk about modalidades, bro. Like, you have what? Roller hockey and basketball? That's it. You don't even have a futsal team. That's like the second biggest sport in the country. Come on. Come on.
How do they not have one? That's so fucking crazy.
They have basketball, roller hockey, and they have a few other things, but do they have volleyball?
They have handball.
Handball. Sorry. Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
They have handball. They have a good team. A little bit better than Sporting. We'll have to play a perfect game to win against them. They have a good
roller hockey team,
basketball team, but we have a better team than them in basketball, and a good hockey team, which we have a better team than them. They do have volleyball females. They don't have a male volleyball. But our team volleyball, we just lost against fucking Ismurim. What the fuck? So we'll talk about it in a little while.
Yeah, just last thing before we actually go into Modalidades. A question from our boy David Pereira. Since we're talking Liga, we might as well answer this. Thoughts of 16th place playing the third place in the second division to see who goes up and down. Something that Germany's been doing for quite some time. I believe France does too.
We actually have that. They're doing that this season.
That's what I'm saying. So what are your thoughts on that? Like,
yeah, I like that. I like it.
Implemented it this season, yeah.
I like it. I think
I like it too. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, my boy George saying that he would love Sporting to win a couple of titles, misses competition without corruption.
Agree.
Give us back 15-16 then. Give us what we deserve. For this shovel, I'm not even.
I don't want it. I want a different one at this point. We can't have this drought broken by
that. Anyways, Steph, since we were talking about modalidades that Sportingistas have always cared about, actually, give us a run through of the modalidades this past week.
Okay, so I'm gonna go down to the modalidades, but before I do so, I just want to bring up one topic: Miguel Albuquerque, and I want the opinion of both of you. And I'm going to start with Danny. What do you think happened, Danny?
Mind you, I don't know everything. I know what I'm reading off. This domestic abuse thing. Listen, if this happened, by all means, take your suspension, because fuck you first and foremost. But now I'm also hearing that it's been something that Sporting has been aware of for the last 9 months.
It happened 15 months ago, I think.
15 months ago, even worse. So with that being the case, action had to be taken. Now, if they're suspending him because it's not looking good in court, or there was a court order that he is guilty of these charges or whatever, yes, by all means, you're doing the right thing. Fuck you, buddy. Your actions have consequences. I know this is your job, and for most jobs, life is your personal life is one thing, your job is another, but there's certain things that just can't happen, especially when you're a public figure, especially when you're representing Sporting. That shit just can't happen. That shit won't fly. If that's the case, bon voyage, buddy. As good as you've done for the modalidades and as good as you've done for Sporting, there's no excuses. You have to be gone. If in a few years things change, whatever, that's the case, we'll see. The only thing I'm confused about, I'm confused about a lot of things in this topic, but that I agree with certain Sportingistas is that if the club knew for 15 months and nothing really has come out or nothing really has been decided, there's been no court order, there's been no nothing, what is it with this suspension? It's a little weird, especially after he kind of declared that he was willing to. What exactly did he declare? That he was willing to run for presidency or something like that? Or he made some sort of declaration, no?
Yes. So before we go into that, what's your take on it, Chris?
It's similar to Danny's. It's exactly the same. I don't really have anything else. I mean, he obviously it's bad. We can't have someone leading as a leader in our club responsible for that. At the same time, Sporting knew about it for if they knew about it, and it's just being used as a political tool because it's convenient right now, then that's also gross. But if they're actually taking it seriously because there was a development in the case, then that's fine as well. Yeah. Okay.
So my take on it is, after listening to different podcasts and the news media and stuff like that, I think that was a checkmate by the Varandas administration, because they felt that he was a threat in the future to overcome the Varandas administration for the next election, which will be in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. So it's every 4 years. So they took him out, checkmate. Sporting knew about it for 15 months. Why do it now? Why wait all this time and do it now? So, of course, I'm against domestic violence. I have a wife and I have 2 kids. But you should have done it right there and then. You shouldn't have waited 15 months. Not only it diminishes the Sporting image, but also you killed this guy's career. And I'm not defending him because I am 100% against domestic violence, 100%. But why didn't you do it 15 months ago? Why would you wait now? So this is really, it sounds like Trump and Biden elections, to tell the truth.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting. It's
Well,
disgusting.
what would you say the significance of now is, right? Why not wait even longer, right? Why not wait another year?
Because
Exactly. When the elections are coming, that would have been the perfect timing if he
why
is
not?
to run.
Why not kill him now? Kill him now. Get rid of him now. Because once you get rid of him, then you pick somebody else to fill in the role, and he loses significance. So by the time there's elections next year, who the fuck is gonna remember about Miguel Albuquerque unless there's someone that invests a lot of money on him?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. And when they do talk about Miguel Albuquerque, it'll be, isn't that the guy that beat up his wife? You know? So,
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll have a really bad reputation. They
Yeah.
fucked up his reputation. He's done. He might as well start selling wine or brewers or sardines.
Listen, if the last 2 years have taught me anything, he'll probably end up at Farense with André Geraldes.
Onde é que está o Pablo
Not
Gonçalves?
anymore, dude. Ferenc got hijacked, bro. That's not. He can't go there anymore.
Onde é que está o Pablo Gonçalves?
Well, he was doing deals with Farense at least.
Yeah.
There it is. Vai para lá também.
So if that last 2 years taught me anything,
He's gonna,
this is gonna be a super fucking team in modalidades in the next 5-6 years.
vai abrir uma casa de putas, oh caralho. Okay, let's talk about modalidades, que isto já está a cheirar mal. So handball, we went to Madeira Sado and Sporting won 34-28 against a tough opponent. Always tough to win at Madeira, but we pulled it off. So congrats to our team. Our basketball team also went to Madeira, and we won 87-72 away, which that was a tough game and a good win by them. Soccer, we won away at Santa Clara again in Arquipélago dos Açores in São Miguel. We won 2-1 with 2 goals from Pots. Very good game from our senior team. We dominated the team, which we spoke about, so I don't need to go into details. Our B team spanked Belenenses SAD B. So B SAD, they're not Belenenses. They're the fake Belenenses. We won 4-1, so we're in first place in our division. Futsal, we won 3-2 against Modicus. For the fans that do follow futsal, they know that Modicus is one of the top teams in Portugal. Besides Sporting and Benfica, Modicus and Braga is the best teams in the Portuguese league. And the ladies, they won. We lost 5-1 against Leões de Porto Salvo, which that was pretty bad in the first game of the season. But they have time to redeem themselves, so let's give them time. They have new players. It takes time to find the dynamics. Oakim Patins, we had a tough game against Turkel. We went away. We won 7-2, which is that's a phenomenal score. So we're still in the top of the standings. In the females, Oakim Patins, we won 5-0 against Camp Doric. So good game by our females. Tennis de mesa, ping pong, we won 4-1 against São Roque, which is a good team, and 3-2 against Calumar. And let me see if there's anything more significant. Volleyball, we lost against 3-2 against Ismorim, which that's pretty much embarrassing. Our team should win against Ismorim, and losing against them, we lose all the credibility. Up to this point, we won every game except for Benfica, which Benfica, they do have a better team. And that was embarrassing to lose against Ismorim, which they deserve to win anyway. We won the next game on Sunday against Caldas da Rainha 3-0. And then the ladies, they won against Braga 3-0. And that's all I got from modalidades.
Perfect. Nothing else more to discuss except for Sunday's game, which actually falls on my brother's 30th. Shout out to my bro,
Nice.
David Saldanha. Make sure to follow him on Twitter. Another Grand Leão. Another reason why I'm a Leão also. But anyways,
You got to invite him to the podcast.
Listen, I would love to have David on, but David doesn't want to come on. That's the only problem.
Why?
I also want to have my buddy Patrick on when we play Porto, but he
Yeah.
also doesn't want to come on. Yeah, Patrick
Patrick
Couto.
Couto.
Yeah, that one.
I like him too.
Come on, boys.
He listens to us sometimes. Well, actually, Patrick listens to us more than my own brother. Thanks for the support, bro. But I'm just kidding. But yeah, I would love to have them on. Even this, my boy George Ferreira, bro. We can talk about all our elementary school days. I don't remember a lot of it. I have to be honest with you now. But
even David Pereira, we got
David Pereira when Braga plays for sure.
Braga,
for sure.
Definitely. I like him because he's always on the
so many rival fans that we love. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They're not shitheads. They're actually decent people.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, this can be a quick subject because it kind of has something to do with us if it does go through. European Premier League. You guys think it'll actually happen? 2022 is the projected date.
Potentially.
Where it'll take over the Champions League, basically.
Yeah.
Little teams like ours will get fucked, basically, if this does happen. But I'm scared. I really hope it doesn't. There's no point. It'll defeat the purpose of derbies, for example. Anyways,
Yeah. I don't like it, but I feel like it has momentum, and I feel like it's had momentum for a while behind the scenes.
Yeah. How many teams in that league?
Like 16 or something.
I'm assuming, they're saying 16, 18. They're trying to deduct. Yeah, they're deducting the Premier League. If this does happen, the Premier League, they want to shorten that as well, so that the schedules aren't too tough. Basically, on the English teams, with 16 teams, there's 18 teams. 8 of them are going. Maybe 8's exaggerated. No, I'd say 8 of them are going to the English teams.
6 at least.
At least 6, exactly. I'm saying 8 because then I think they'll still include Everton and Leicester, who are outside the traditional top 6.
Yeah.
And then, you have 3 teams in Spain. You'll have at least 1 team in France. At least, I'd say 2 at least, but probably 3 or 4 teams in Germany as well.
That's really it.
No, sorry, I'm forgetting Italy. And Italy has so many. Juve, Inter, AC. These historic clubs are obviously going to get into it too. I think
so.
At least.
Portugal wouldn't even get in.
No. If at best, maybe 1. At best. But what's the point? You might as well keep Champions League if that's the case. Or at least expand the league into 30-something teams. But even then, it'll be ridiculous because it's just 1, it'd be too many teams, but 2, it'll just defeat the purpose of domestic league.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It just kills the magic. It kills the magic. And with coronavirus, this doesn't make much sense because this isn't magically going to go away when 2021 comes.
No,
this is going to be an issue we're dealing with for a long time. Even if they do make a vaccine, who wants to take it? I mean, this is a separate issue, but anyways.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, if they come up with this fucking league, European Premier League, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah, but watch.
I am done.
We'll do a basketball podcast. Don't even worry about it.
I mean, the thing is, I'm still gonna follow Sporting Portugal, but I won't follow the league. I won't spend 1 cent in that fucking stupid league. I mean, if you want a league of millionaires or rich teams, then fuck you. I'm not interested. What makes it fun is an outside team underdog winning it, just like in baseball and basketball. And I know what they want. They want to make money. That's all.
Yeah, but I'd say that I'd argue that even if anything, they're making short-term games, and in the long term, they're fucked. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyways, and as Richard's saying, there'd be no Portuguese teams, no Russian teams, no Dutch teams, so no Ajax. My boy George saying we'll watch Miguel Oliveira in Moto.
Yeah, no,
Sorry, go
but
ahead.
so make it fair and square. So if you want to come up with a league like that, then make it equally the same. 2 from England, 2 from France, 2 from Portugal, two from Italy. Make it equally the same. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't make
Yeah.
it to because the Premier League can have 6 teams because they got the most money. No, fuck you. It should be equally the same across the board.
Yeah.
And if you look at the UEFA ranking, we rank number 6. Portugal, we
Yeah.
behind France, and then we have Russia behind us.
Behind us.
So the first 6 teams or 7 teams, they should have 2 teams. So that's 12 teams. 2 times 6 is 12. So then you have the lower teams. They should get at least 1 team in, and that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be. I don't give a fuck about Manchester United and Manchester City and Tottenham. It should be only 2 teams from England. I mean, that's the way it should be.
Then that'd be pointless to even do that anyway. I hope it doesn't happen. I don't think it'll happen, but who knows? There's been murmurs of it for so many years now that it very well might.
If it's only 1 Portuguese club, you know who's going.
It won't, I'll give you guys a hint. It's not Sporting.
No,
it's not the team that hasn't won in 19 years. I'll give you that for free.
It won't be. It'll be most likely
Benfica.
Sporting Lisboa e Benfica.
Desculpa.
So meaning it's still 2 clubs from Portugal.
Pow! Anyways, let's go into Sunday's game.
No.
Go ahead.
Not Paok. Not Paok.
Not Paok.
You said Pau. You said Pau.
Yeah, let's go into Sunday's game, November 1st. Sporting go to Tondela at a 3:00 kickoff, at least in the Eastern Standard Time. That'd be, I believe, 8 in Portugal. Anyways, guys, what are your thoughts on the upcoming game?
I'm expecting hopefully much of the same, like a team that just kind of sits back, allows us to kind of play our game. Hopefully we can be more efficient, create more good chances, actually hit the target with those chances, and hopefully Sporting starts, because I think the team's better with him in the starting lineup, or with him in the lineup.
Yeah, or at the very least, Tiago Tomás.
Yeah, not Jovan at striker anymore. You can play him on the wing.
Yeah.
But I don't think he should start up top.
Agreed.
And maybe João Mario instead of Matheus Nunes, who I thought had a pretty bad game as well in the middle.
Yeah. Agreed. How about you, Steph?
I agree. So the switch I would make, it would be Matheus Nunes with João Mario, and Giovanni. Either you drop him to one of the wings, and then you lose Nunes or Pot, and then I would start with Sporad. Sporad needs to play from the get-go, because he'll be a presence inside the box. But I like Giovanni. I don't think Giovanni is inferior to Nunes, but I like Pot better than Nunes or Giovanni, because he's very creative. And you could see the third goal out of nothing. That was a beautiful goal. That was outside the box.
Yeah.
Not an easy goal to score. It looked easy, but it's not. It was not inside the box. Outside the box. It's not an easy goal. You made it extremely easy. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just saying, Anna was near post, and usually keepers have that near post marked, so not an easy goal at all.
Yeah, it reminds me of Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes. Yeah. Even his leadership style. He yells at his teammates and all that stuff inside the pitch. I like that. I love that. I love the fact he tells his fucking teammates, "What the fuck are you doing? Next time do a better job, pressure more." And he's got the leadership skills that what it takes for it. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a captain anytime soon. I know Padinha was promoted to the status of captain or sub-captain. which that's a great choice, by the way. He made some phenomenal plays, Padinha. Phenomenal plays, Padinha.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and I believe João Mario, at least that was the rumor when he came in. João Mario was also another one. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm hoping that João Mario is in the squad. I'm actually going to make a hot take that João Mario should take Jovan's position on the wing, not in the middle, but on the wing. One, because that was his best time at Sporting was on the wing. It wasn't actually in the midfield, or his best time in his career, really. It was the career. Yeah. And I would also, drop Mateus Nunes, for sure, for a midfield of Palhinha and if not João Mario, then of Pot.
Bragança.
I would love Bragança, but then it would be too many. See, this is the thing that we mentioned in the beginning. Like, there's too many good midfielders for us to only be really playing like two in there. I would have loved like a three, and then maybe like Bragança, Palhinha, Pot, and then João Mario on the right, Nuno Santos or Jovan on the left, Sporar or Tiago Tomás up top. Johnny mentioned it earlier. These are good headaches to have. We finally have good headaches.
True. Very true.
Hopefully, we'd see Eduardo Quaresma coming back into the lineup. We'll see.
Yes,
of course, yes. Another thing I would love to see.
I would swap him with Neto in 2 seconds. In 2 seconds, bro, I would put Quaresma back and take out Neto.
I'm at the point where I'd rather see a pylon than fucking Neto. I'm going to be honest with you. He'd probably make less. The pylon would make less defensive mistakes. I like Neto as a human being, and every time he's come on and spoke, he's done well. I remember very vividly when he came out to speak against Braga last year when we got fucked over in the Taça da Liga. Sick guy, and he's not the worst defender by all means I've seen at Sporting. I still remember Nabi Sarr. I still know Thiago Ilori is somewhere in Sporting, I know we could do a lot worse than Neto, but I also know there's a lot more solutions than Neto. And Neto is another one that, I'll finish quickly. Like Antunes, though Antunes has yet to really prove it yet, but like Antunes, he's one of those signings that I get why the leadership did it. They wanted experience and Portuguese experience, but I don't think it was a signing we necessarily needed. And it was kind of just, like Chris mentioned, burning money.
I agree with Chris, and I agree with you. It was burning money. It was a waste of fucking money. It was a waste of time. It was a waste of position, because now you could develop our players from our youth. And that's my take on that. Neto is good as a backup. Quaresma has to start, because Quaresma knows how to control the ball and move forward. Neto only passes to the back and sideways. He doesn't know how to fucking make a final decision, the final pass. He has no vision whatsoever. He's very limited, and that's why I struggle with Neto. Neto is a great defender, but offensively, when he has to move the ball from defensively to the midfield and have a great vision of the game, he does not have it. He's very limited. When you see the way he plays, it's simple: para trás ou para o lado, para trás ou para o lado, para trás ou para o lado. And we don't need that shit, because we struggle tremendously against Gil Vicente. We wasted a lot of time passing to the back and the side, the back and the side, derrière, à côté, derrière, à côté, chin chan chong, chin chan chong. Chinese.
Foda-se, és bom com a língua,
hein? Ask my wife, she'll tell you.
Oh. Anyway, score predictions. I'm gonna say I think Sporting keeps the W's going. By the way, I for sure just jinxed Sporting by saying that. But I'm gonna say another 2-1 cagada. Oh, well, we won 3-1 today, but another 2-1 win.
Woo!
What do you guys say?
Thank you. I'm gonna say
Coronavirus.
1-0. 1-0.
Sporting.
1-0 Sporting. Yeah, they're not losing to Tondela at home. Another home game. So I don't think we're losing.
Fair enough. How about you, Steph?
I'm gonna say 3-0 Sporting.
Who's scoring all these goals, man? That's been the problem.
O Steph Teixeira, o Christian Oliveira e o Denis Saldanha.
All right.
Bow. Yo, George, tell these guys about me, bro. Tell them how many goals I used to score against you in net. Just kidding. All right. Sorry, what was that stuff?
Do you remember him now?
Yeah, I do. I mentioned I just did. He's using a different, like he's using an alias as a last name.
Oh,
of course I remember him.
Yeah, you dated his sister, right?
No, I don't, no, of course not, man. Please.
Guys, I don't even know.
I do know him. I think he lives on the street still. I don't think so. I don't think so. He might. But I don't know his siblings. I know him. But shout out to my boy George.
Pretty good.
He actually asked a question of if we should value like if the Portuguese media should value other sports, not soccer. I just want to say that this podcast for the last 3 years have been trying to value everything. I mean, everything Sporting, but not only the soccer team, just everything, bro. So of course we do. Our biggest gripe is the Portuguese media. But anyways, shout out to everybody that was joining us in the chat. Shout out to my boy Fake MMHD all the way from the UK. Our boy Richard Neves. My boy Jorge Perigoso, Jorge Ferreira. Jorge Costa Jorge all the way down under. New York's finest. Johnny Siniero, of course. The best Braga fan around, David Pereira. Who else do we have here? Our boy Gabriel Couto, who just discovered that fans of Sporting live outside of Portugal today. Shout out to my boy, though. We still do love and appreciate the support. Shout out to Joel Leão, all the way from, well, at least he was in Luxembourg. I believe he might be now in Indonesia or Singapore.
No, I think he's back.
He's back in Luxembourg?
I think so. I think he's back. He can correct us if he's wrong, if we're wrong. I think he's back, though.
Sick nonetheless. Our boy Yano saying he misses Lietzen. Who doesn't? I actually mentioned Lietzen. Me and my dad mentioned Lietzen today at the game. How we missed him, like going after these dead balls, going to the keeper. And of course, our boy Francisco Mach and everybody else who asked us a Twitter question today. Thank you guys for joining us and interacting with us. We do appreciate it. Follow us on Instagram at Sporting160EN. On Twitter, of course, where we're mainly active, Sporting160_EN. Our Facebook page, Sporting160EN. Our spread shirts, Sporting160EN. Our LinkedIn, Sporting160EN. Our fucking MySpace. Follow us over there. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys very, very soon. Hopefully with more Sporting victories. And hopefully we'll see what happens with the with next door with our neighbors and their election.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think results are coming in the next hour. I think so. We're gonna be off. We're gonna be off, but Twitter could pop off.
It could very well pop off.
Yeah, I'm gonna check my phone one last time and give you guys the last update that's on there because I've just been refreshing the live election thing on Record. The last news, this is 2 minutes ago, the voting urns in Seychelles, which was the last house that were open, is now closed. They're now just counting 38,000 votes. So everyone has voted. All the houses are closed. So I'm sure they've already been counting this whole time, but now everyone has officially voted. And 281 Benfica socios from North America voted of those 38,000. So shout out to those 281.
Yeah.
I
know quite a few. I know quite a few of them. Like seeing Mario,
Sergio.
That's like 6 of the 280 right there.
Yeah, no. Alfred Masses. I know, great friends of mine, great Benfiquistas, which I can interact with them, and great people. A shout out to Paul Costa.
Yes, I was just about to mention. Our boy.
He said Sporting Caralho. Yeah. Não é Sporting Caralho, é Sporting com Portugal. But I know Paul Costa is a good friend of mine. He's a real Sportingista. He used to listen to Three Tugas a lot. Three Tugas, they should be coming up anytime soon. So
sick. I miss those guys. Anyways,
fuck them, lymphanizing. I love that.
That's why I have to end it with. Listen, we can talk about Benfica, but we gotta end it with this. Anyways,
my next trip is gonna be to Australia.
Fun fact: my parents almost immigrated to Australia before coming to Canada, so I could have been down under, but instead I'm
Sydney
up north.
FC fan.
I'm up north.
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
they didn't get the work permit.
Perth Glory.
Brisbane Roar.
You look Canadian, yeah.
I know. Look, I'm branquinho, bro. What's whiter, my sweater or my skin, bro? Foda-se.
Again.
O inverno já veio, caralho.
É bonito pra caralho.
Obrigado, man.